What's going on, guys? I don't normally do two videos in one day, but sometimes I do. Sometimes there's been days I've done three. Uh, if I can get them all downloaded, I do. If I don't, then I'll spread them out. But this one's the same. I want you guys to know I've been going through shit, um, stuff I've held on to for years, years and years and years and years, and I'm giving it away. If somebody in my family, and you guys know what I mean by family, if somebody in my family wants it, I'll give it to them. Now, there's some stuff, folks. Come on, but I am been going through stuff, and it's already got a name on it. That thing behind me already has a name on it. But so I'm digging through boxes that I've had. Shit, they even went when me and my wife, um, we put everything into storage and ran around for shit almost 9, 10 months in my motor home before we ever even came up here to Ohio, where we're at now. And we had a lot of stuff in storage, it boxed up, and I've been going through. I'm tired of hauling shit. When you have to move that shit, I'm to the age now that I'm getting rid of it. So I'm digging through stuff, folks, and I find this old. It's a tablet of paper, is what it is, but it had this. It has this thing on that snapped it together. I cut that thing off a little bit ago and threw it in the damn trash. So it's just the tablet. I'm going to use this paper to take notes on. I'm running out of paper out here for my videos. Now I'm looking through this doggone thing, and I'm finding stuff in here that I wrote long time ago. And I want to show you about 3 pages in. People, I have nothing to hide from you. Hell, I'll give you, if you want my social security number, I'll give it to you. I don't have a fucking problem with that. I'll give you any information you want if you want to research my background. I've done it many times for the government and everybody else that I've worked for. Even though you're not paying me, I work for your views. I'm not hiding nothing from you. I've been telling you I've been fighting the government for a long time. Almost 20 years. I find a letter in here that I wrote that my wife typed up and sent out for me in 12/13 of 2014. Now this letter, folks, and I'll show it to you, starts off and it even says Indiana Department of Workforce Development. And if you guys want to slow it down, pause it, and read it, you can. I'm going to try to read it real fast. And then the second page, I just found this. Second page was the ending of it. That's it right there. When I dated it, signed it. My wife ended up copying this and sending it off to the Indiana Department of Workforce Development. Now, let me make sure. Nothing on there I give a shit if you have. This right here. Now, folks, my full name's David Brian Grooms. Look it up. You won't find me. There's a million of us. I went by Brian from birth. David is my first name. According to the government, I've always been David. And I want you to look on here, folks, and remember I've told you about all capital letters in your name. It's right here. I'm going to show you the rest of it. I'm just trying to get this. If you want to pause it and read this shit. This is what they sent me. Now, I know you're going to find out if you take the time to read any of this. They sent this letter out on 12/8, and right at the top it says 12/8 of 2014, and I wrote that on 12/13. That was their answer, and it was almost, or it was over $4,500. Now, I ain't going into the whole damn thing. That was a 6-month court battle with workforce development over unemployment money I had coming. They claimed I didn't, and they paid me anyway. Then they wanted the very next day they wanted over $7,000 back. They only gave me $4,600 and some change. Very next day, from the point they'd done issued the money and they knew I took it, they wanted over $2,000 more back in interest. They never got a damn dime back, folks. Ever. They will never. Oh, shit, I didn't even see that one. I'll have to come back to that. It's about Jade Helm. Jade Helm 15. But I'm flipping through here. Let me see. What was that? Was there anything else? I don't think there was anything else. I don't know. I wanted to show you guys that I'm not lying about fighting the government. I've been fighting them over income taxes. Like I've told you before, that damn thing right behind me, yeah, I got it. I'm using it. But the state of Indiana claims I owe them income taxes where I've never filed. I never even filed it, folks. And they claim I owe it. They filed it in my name. They signed my name off of using federal records that they got that I had income, that was claimed income on me that I did not claim income of. So Indiana, they were breaking federal laws and everything else. I told them, fuck you. I'll burn that damn Jeep to the ground before you ever get a dime of it. They still hold the lien on it, but they can't come and get it. I'll drive that thing till axles fall out, or till the whole damn thing just falls to pieces, and then I'll drag it to a junkyard somewhere. I told them, hell, I know people in the Smoky Mountains, the Rocky Mountains, the desert, many places. I'll just take it out to them, and they'll just use it for off-road only. They won't need a title. Folks, I've been fighting them a long time, but I'm just trying to prove a little bit. This video is actually about cops. Everybody thinks I'm against cops. I'm not against cops. The only reason they think that is because most of the people that knew me before the end of or the beginning of July of last year knew about my original channel and my second channel. Not only Watachi Running Free, I had Watachi Still Running Free was my second main channel. Watachi Running Free 2 is actually my third. I put Still Running Free because I didn't go to jail. That was my second one. That channel didn't last long at all. But I've talked about in even my last video. I told you guys I fought. Goddamn big run on that cigarette. I fought cops all my life. I fought them all my life. What I didn't tell you is I've had cops as friends all of my life. I've had friends that were cops. I had, like I told you in I think it was my last video, had a cop caught me walking down the damn street 2 o'clock in the morning, drunker than hell, had my head split open, blood all over. He didn't arrest me. He took me home. Now, was that a friend? He should have took me to the damn hospital. If he was a friend, that's what a friend should have done. My head was split open 8 inches. But he didn't take me to jail. He could have took me to the hospital and arrested me and really fucked me up. I didn't call him bad cop. I partied with cops down in Florida when I first moved to Florida. Hell, the cops were the young guys too. Hell, we were all trying to party with the girls, you know. Didn't matter what occupation you had. I partied with a lot of them. Out in Arizona, man, we used to have Mike Tyson fights. In Arizona, in the desert, folks, fireworks were not allowed. It was illegal, especially in summertime when everything is dried out. Shit, that's what, spark a fire pretty quick. People, we were not very far from the Mexico border where you can buy any kind of fireworks you want. And we did. One 4th of July, I think there was a damn Mike Tyson fight that was going on. If I can remember right, because we had all kinds of fireworks that we were shooting off. I think it had something to do with the 4th of July. And it was one of them damn fights, I'm sure, that didn't last more than about 45 seconds or something, second round or something. But we're having a damn Mike Tyson fight party. Cookout, probably at least 30 people, kids running around, family thing, We break out the fireworks, start blowing this shit up. Neighborhood that we were in, somebody called the cops, Mesa Police. 2 cars show up. There's only 2 cops in the 2 cars. Hell, we trumped them with about 8 cops in the fucking party. We had 8 cops to their 2. The 8 cops went out there, talked to the other 2 cops. They left. We had a higher ranking officer at our party. We continued to shoot off fireworks. I'm sitting up in Wyoming, where I followed my first wife up there. She had family members that were sheriff deputies and I think just sheriff deputies. Well, half the family members of my first wife told me, do I need to smack the hell out of you? Don't marry her. Her own family members. But I said, did you see her? I married. Well, some of them didn't like me up there, but the one of them that was a deputy, he liked me. And I was driving down the fucking country road out there one time. He's sitting out there watching for speeders. I pull up next to him. He's sitting there. I go, what's going on, man? He's going, nothing. What's going on with you? He goes, hey, you got a beer? I said, you serious? And he goes, yeah. I said, of course. He goes, come on, get over here. He had to be in the police car and watching shit. We get over there. I'm popping beers with him. Me and him both drinking beers in the police deputy or in the sheriff deputy car in Mexico. People, let me just put it like this: it wasn't me, but I know a guy. Now I do know. And there was never a time that I went down into Mexico that I stopped at the border and got a visa. I asked permission from any damn buddy. I went down into Mexico on my own. I didn't have no passports, no visas, nothing. And when I got involved with the police department down there, the only thing I had to do, if they asked me for ID, it was something petty, $10 bill behind my driver's license. If I had an accident, it was my fault and I didn't want to report it. And I didn't want to pay damages. Driver's license with a $20 bill behind it. Get you let go. American $20 bill in Mexico. Now I had a guy told me when the police showed up one time, there was a body on the ground. He handed his license with a $50 bill behind it and walked away. People, cops are cops. Good cops are good cops. Bad cops are bad cops. You got to have cops. You got to have cops. Now, all the cops that I was friends with, I ain't going to say they were good cops, and the cops I wasn't were bad cops. I'm just telling you what I know. When I'm standing there, we are having a Mike Tyson football or a fight party. We're illegally shooting fireworks off. But because 8 of the people at our party were cops, and only 2 cops showed up, we were allowed to keep breaking the law. Do you think that's good cops or bad cops? The thing about cops are, today, they are order followers. Law don't matter. If it comes over that radio or through that computer for them to do something, whether it's against the law or with the law, their job's to do it. Period. Now, that also goes to a certain extent. You can still kind of have some good cops in this situation. And I'm going to use my situation to prove it. Now, I've told you guys about being arrested for not wearing a mask. It was almost, it would have been a year ago. I think March, February or March. But when all the COVID crap started, there was only a couple of stores that I would go to anyway. One of the stores that I went to, I went in before they were actually enforcing shit. I went in and talked to the general or the regional manager at this grocery store. And me and him, I had this on video. It's even on one Wait a minute. It might even be the original video of this channel. I think it is. Where I talked to the man, the regional manager of this grocery store chain, and told him my health problems and showed him my medical records. And he gave me permission to come in that store. He did it on video without knowing it. I was video recording him, he didn't know it. But he did give me permission. Well, they used the Boardman Township Police Department to work security at that store. Never had no trouble for the first year of this whole COVID crap. He finally, they finally got a security guard in there that had been watching my original channel, Watachi Running Free, and I was telling everybody, you'll never put a mask on my face. It's an 18-year officer at Boardman Township. He wanted to mask Watachi. First night I went in there and run into him, he harassed me in the gate coming in the door. I told him I'm not wearing it. He harassed me all the way through. I got I didn't get that video because I didn't have my phone with me. But he harassed me all the way through the store, and when I came out, I went out and got my car. I went straight to the police department and put in a harassment charge on him. About, I think it was 3 or 4 days later, he found out I'd put in a harassment charge on him. I done went in the grocery store, came out with my stuff. I was coming out the door. He was standing over there on the, talking on his phone to somebody on the sidewalk. He looked over at me and gave me some fucking stupid eyeball, and I walked out to my car, put my fucking groceries in my car, started my car, drove, backed up. As I'm pulling forward, he wants to start harassing me again. I drove around him and drove on out of there because he's a security guard. He called it in. He was stopping me for a traffic violation. Claimed I had no driver's license. And he knew it. I drove all the way home at the speed limits, never reaching anything over the speed limit. Never not stopping. I stopped for every stop sign, every light, never broke a speed limit, never even knew what was called in on me. By the time I get back to my house, I pull into my driveway. Now my barn's back in the back of the house, and I see a cop car sitting down the street. I pull on up, put my gun back in my pocket, get out of my car, walk up towards the front of my house, and the officer that was parked down the streets now asking me if he can come on my property, and I said, yeah. He questioned me about what's going on, and we waited for an officer. This is what this video is about. Nick Newland now. He's Officer Nick Newland of the Boardman Township Police Department. He works here still to this day. The officer that was on scene first asked me if Nick's coming, he wants to talk to you and shit. No problem. We're standing in my front yard. I'm trying to tell him what's going on over there. He's telling me that they're claiming I fled from him. I'm laughing. I didn't flee from nobody. All I did was drive around him. He was harassing me the last time I was in there. I filed charges on it. So finally Nick gets there, and Nick comes in, and he's talking to me, and We're talking about what's going on. I got my gun hanging out of my pocket, folks. I didn't have it in a holster. It was in my pocket. Kind of worried both the cops, but they didn't have nothing to worry about me. I don't dislike cops. So there was a couple times the other officer left where me and Nick was talking, and he come back, told Nick something. Nick come back and said, "We got to arrest you." I said, "Oh, okay." I said, "I'm going to hand my gun to my wife. Is that all right?" He goes, "No, let me take it out of your pocket and I'll hand it to her." And he did. They patted me down, took me down, arrested me for driving without a driver's license. Now I went in, or with their arrest, I gave them my ID. They're looking at my driver's license. It's an Indiana license, not an Ohio license. The arresting officer, Nick Newland, he's doing the report and shit. And the officer that's claimed I just ran from him from a traffic stop said I had no driver's license. So he ordered, or he didn't order, he was an officer as well. He told Nick Newland to write me a ticket for driving without a license. And Nick told him I ain't going to do it. I'm sitting there looking at his license. I ran his driver's license. It's good. I'm not going to write him a ticket for driving without a license. So he didn't. Matter of fact, they booked me, took pictures of me. And after they unhandcuffed me once I got in the police department. And then he drove me back to my house. Nick Newland drove me back to my house, dropped me off, apologizing the whole time. Now, this went on to court, folks, and the whole time I was going through court, I was telling these guys, they know I ain't got no money. I was telling them, "No, I don't want your lawyer. Jesus is my lawyer. I don't need a lawyer, your lawyers, to fight this. Jesus is my lawyer," and it's in the recordings, folks. It's in everything that had to do with my case. Even the judge told me, "I don't care about your religion." Well, I called in a few. I had to make the courts. I went to court for this. They didn't have anybody on scene or in the courtroom other than the cop that brought up all these fake charges on him. I said, "What? That's all you got?" And that's the prosecutor told me. "I don't need nothing else." He goes, "You got to prove you're innocent." I said, "Oh, shit." I filed for a fucking continuance and started calling in, sent the paperwork to the courts, call in my fucking witnesses. Well, this prosecutor, he turned two of my witnesses against me, talked these people into lying when they was sitting in the witness stand, folks. Talked them into lying. Never gave me a chance to talk to my own witnesses beforehand. At all. Just their prosecutor's office, not me. Nick Newland, I caught him. He was one of, actually the two officers that were involved were two of my witnesses. One officer couldn't make it because he was on, he's in the Army Reserves and he was gone for that. But Nick Newland showed up, and I talked to him before we went in. It was a few days before the court. I ran into him on the street, and I told him, I said, "Nick, I ain't going to tell you any questions I'm going to ask. I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to ask or how I'm going to ask it. All I ask you is to tell the truth. What you think the truth was that happened that night. You tell the truth. That's all I care about." And I left it at that. I got this man on the witness stand in the courtroom. He even told him I run his driver's license. It was good. I was not writing him a ticket for driving without a license. I said, "Well, why not?" They're saying that he said it was good license. I'm not doing it. That was all I needed, I thought. The officer that arrested me for it said my license was good. They still prosecuted me for it, people, and gave me a year in jail. They claimed I fled from an officer from a traffic stop, which was not a traffic stop. He was working security at a grocery store and didn't like me. He claimed a traffic stop. In the report and in court, he claimed I turned my car towards him and tried to run him down. He had to jump out of my way. The video I showed in court was from inside the car and showed where he come walking up next to my car, and I turned the wheel all the way to the right as I drove out and around him. None of this shit mattered in that courtroom. I got a year in jail for fleeing from an officer. They suspended both years in jail and gave me 1 year on probation because I had no criminal background. I didn't even have speeding tickets. Now that year is coming up. The end of that year is going to be the end of June. People, you got to have police officers, but you don't need no bad ones. Nick Newland is a good police officer. Now, I found out a lot more about him after I found out who he was. Now, he is special ops, Marine special ops. He's a young guy. I could be his daddy. He's in his 30s. So are all my kids. I could be his daddy. He is from Iraq War, combat vet, special forces. My son's Iraq War, not special forces, but he was combat vet. Nick Newland's also, from what I understand, part of the SWAT team. He's a sniper. This ain't no secret stuff, folks. I hope I'm not harming him in any way by saying this about him. Hell, I think it's what he's been trained to do. So, but that's what kind of a guy he is. So, I also come to believe in the long run. First time I met Nick, I'm sitting out on the porch with my dog. He kind of driving by in his police car 18. He drives by me, goes down the other end of the street, flips around, and as he's coming back, he yells out his window at me. This before I knew, or this wasn't far long after I let the police department know about my videos and my channel, because I sent them my channel and my videos of their officers breaking the law. The second time he comes by, I'm sitting out there, he yells out the window, he rolls his window down, yells out, "What touchy?" So I turned around and did a video, and I said, "Hey, that Borman police officer, car 18, you want to talk? Pull in the driveway, we'll talk." And he did. A few days later, I'm sitting out there, and sure enough, he pulled right in the damn driveway, came up on the porch and was talking to me. We talked about a lot of shit ever since then. I even told him once, or right after that first time he came up, I even told him, I said, next time you come back, don't come on the property in that uniform or that police car without a warrant. He's been back, though. The night he arrested me. But that man is a good cop. You got to have cops, folks. You got to have cops. You got to sleep sometime. You got to be able to trust somebody. But if they're not trustworthy, you don't need them. And that don't go just at the bottom, not just the officers. That goes from the top down, from the police chief down. If the police chief is a rotten egg, the rest of them's going to be rotten eggs. Make no doubt. But we got to have cops if we plan to sleep at night with the way this world's going. And I don't give a crap what race they are. If they can be trusted, that's the race we need. If they're a person that can be trusted to do their job and do it right and do it on the legal end, we'll deal with the people making them laws after that, but they need to follow the law and not orders. They need to know what the laws are. Most of these officers don't even know what the laws are, so that's why they follow orders. They're order followers. It's not the officers, it's the leadership. It's the leadership. It's happened to the whole damn world. Maybe you need to change the leadership. You guys, I love you. Really do. God loves you more. Look at what he's done for you. Even if you don't know it. The dirt you're standing on, you wouldn't have without him. Have a good night. Till the next one.